Hello and welcome to the incredibly influential and highly successful podcast. My name is Kale. I'm incredibly influential.
My name's Danny, and I'm highly successful.
Today is just barely Monday for me as we're recording this. July 7th. We are we're here. We're talking. Things are happening. Things I'm gonna say something. I'm a little bit pissed off, Danny, and I know you're gonna say, "Oh, aren't you always?" But I'm gonna tell you
Well,
why.
that is the joke, but yeah, okay, go on.
I beat you to it. What are you gonna do? When are you gonna do it? What are you gonna do?
You know what? I don't got time for this. This is when I load up a Latro. See how early it starts? It starts
See,
this. It starts this early because you've already pissed me off.
Danny, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something that's really gonna piss you off.
Oh no!
You're gonna wanna.
Load up a Latro even faster.
Honestly, it's kind of related to Balatro. Do you know why? You know what? You know what it is, Danny? The one gay bill. I refuse to call it anything else.
Gay Bill.
The one gay bill. The one big gay bill.
One big gay bill. Okay, I'm.
The new big budget bill that just came out on Friday. On the 4th.
I'm trying to think of what. I don't know a lot of bills.
It's the one that's big and gay.
What's her last name?
No, its first name is One. Its middle name is Big. Its other middle name is Gay. And its last name is Bill. This is a dumb bit. You know what I'm talking about. The big giant bill that everyone was protesting on fucking the past few days. You know the shitty one, the new budget bill. It changes how much fucking gamblers can write off on their taxes.
Oh
So
no!
so I knew you'd care. I knew you'd care. Because guess what, Danny?
Oh
That would
no!
include your big bingo win.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait. Calm down. Let's chill with that for a
Yeah,
minute.
right? So it's gonna
The one time I've ever gambled, you can't take this away from me.
right? I
Oh,
don't know when it goes into effect and when it happens, but you actually won enough to where
it
you
might be a
actually are gonna have to
problem.
pay taxes on it. Yeah.
Oh no. This is worst case scenario right now.
Yeah. Fucking you're telling me, buddy. You're telling me. So basically,
I do
uh
wish that uh I could gamble more. Not because I'm addicted or anything, right? But I feel like it's like
sure, buddy. Sure you're not.
it's kind of like a social activity that you can do with your buddies and you can drink while you're doing it. And you can get those big hits of dopamine every now and then
Yeah,
whenever you
you
do
can't
it.
even gamble in Texas.
No, I can't. That's why it would really upset me if I got affected by it out of all the people.
You might still get affected by it. I don't know if it's going to like be retroactive for all of the gambling losses slash gains that you've taken in. But yeah, I don't know. But like yeah, no, you might have to pay taxes on that, and I'm not sure. Um, yeah, I would mark it down on your taxes and see what happens there. But yeah, no, since you made 1,400, the winnings under 1,200 are not taxed, but since it was above 1,200, you're
God dang it.
yeah, fucking. How do you think I feel?
Just barely over. Ah,
Yeah, how do you think I feel? You know,
you can't take this away from me. This is all I have.
I know it's like the one good thing that's ever happened to you, other than meeting me. You know,
Well,
hey, where? How would you have
uh,
won that without me?
you know what? You you have a good point.
I
I will
was
give you that.
instrumental.
You know what? You bring up a good point. I will give you that.
I was instrumental to your success. You would have nothing without me. You would
Well,
have jack and shit.
I wouldn't go that far. Personally, wouldn't go
You
that
would
far.
have nothing and no one, and nobody would
Nothing
like you.
nothing and no one.
Yeah.
That's a big tough right there. It really is.
Cause yeah, no, your DMs would be dry. Um, you'd have no friends. Um, no social life. Um, I was gonna say a small dick, but you'd have that anyway. Yeah, but here I am out here giving you all these things. But yeah, so how it used to work before this stupid gay ass bill was, uh, what you used to do is that you would, when you were getting taxed on your gambling income, right? You'd be able to uh, you'd be able to like deduct 100% of your losses from 100% of your gains, right? So, for example, if you were to, let's say, go to the casino every day and you lost $280,000, but you made $300,000, right? You'd be able to deduct the 280,000 from your 300,000, so that way you would only be taxed on the 20,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you now you can only deduct 90% of your losses, so you're gonna have to pay taxes on money that you didn't actually make, because like you've lost like
Oh, I see what you mean.
yeah,
Yeah.
so out of you'd have to pay taxes on an additional, what is it, 28,000, because you can only deduct from 90% of your losses, not 100%. So 28,000 of your losses, like it's going to be virtually impossible to like make a profit now. Like all it's going to do is fucking um push gaming toward the to the black market, right? Like everyone's just going to be doing like back alley poker deals instead of fucking like actually going and um like going out and gambling legally, right? In and I you know casinos are shady, right? Like legal casinos are already pretty fucking gross. Danny, have you ever been in a real casino?
I walked through a casino in the airport whenever I went to Las Vegas.
Oh yeah, in oh, what's it called? It's not McCarran anymore. Harry Reid Airport.
Yeah,
Um,
but I've only been to Las Vegas once. No, I've actually been to Las Vegas twice, technically. I had one layover in Las Vegas like a couple years ago. But before
I'd say that
that,
doesn't count.
that one doesn't count. But I went to Las Vegas. It was during one of the hurricanes. I was a bit younger. I can't remember if it was Katrina or Ike. It was one of those.
I don't know
I
if you were really going anywhere for Katrina.
I can't. Well, in Texas, it's all bad. I can't remember which one was worse for us specifically. There was one that was really really bad in my area, and we left for it to Las Vegas because at the time that's when our cousins were.
Mm-hmm.
But I was too young to actually experience gambling and all that. I just kind of walked through it and I was like, this is kind of weird for an airport, you know?
Yeah, the joys of gambling were not afforded to thee. That's so
No,
sad. Truly, we should
it's
be allowing children to gamble.
I know missed opportunity, you know.
Yeah,
Well, if you think about it, that's kind of what that's kind of what gaming is, you know.
exactly.
Have
Microtransactions and shit.
Have you
Yeah.
heard about all there was a lot of like Balatro drama, kind of getting back into the Balatro talk. because Balatro got flagged as a gambling game, even though technically there's no real gambling in it, you know?
Yeah, no, there's no gambling at all. You don't.
Just because it's like just based off of decks of cards, it got flagged as a gambling game, which is crazy. So
Well,
like,
it's more than that because it does use like actual poker hands, and I
well,
think
yeah,
can't you?
it used poker hands, but the thing is like it got, you know how like if you're, because there's like a big movement online with like making sure that children don't gamble, or gambling's like not as easily accessible, right?
Yeah.
Balatro got flagged as like a higher rated game than it was supposed to be,
Yes.
which is why there was the whole backlash where people were like, Belatro's not even like that, you know?
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
true. You can't like actually go out of your way and gamble. Um. Well, I mean, aren't there like some of your things where it's like
Oh, we're gonna
if you
Balatro talk today.
well, isn't one of the tarot cards like you buy it and you have a 1 in 4 chance to upgrade one of your jokers? That's
But
kind of gambling.
that's not okay. So I think that whenever, see, I don't really know what they are meaning whenever they refer to gambling, because that, it's a game where you're building a deck of cards, sure. That part's similar enough, right? And you're trying to beat the dealer, quote unquote, but there's no actual like stakes, you know what I mean? It's not like you're given any sort of amount of money, right? It's not like I'm playing like a poker game where I'm playing against bots, playing Texas Hold'em, you know? It's not. So I think that there's like a maybe like a gray area where like,
I would say it's definitely less gambling than what's it called? Than the casino in GTA.
yeah,
That's definitely more gambling because GTA money is like you can't reverse it, right? Like you can't like take GTA money and turn it into real money, but you can turn real money into GTA money. So you kind of can like lose all your money in real life.
and that's the, it's weird because like with games and with like technology in general, like a lot of the laws behind it are so far behind because it can't account for all these like very very like niche scenarios like a Balatro, right?
Yeah,
uh
yeah,
eh,
it's
so like you get really funny scenarios like that every now and then where you're like, that doesn't make sense, but it counts. And then there's like other games like gotcha games, which gotcha games I would consider are way more gambling than Balatro
oh,
is.
definitely 100%,
You know what I
100%.
mean? And like some gotcha games don't get nearly as much backlash as like Balatro did, which is crazy. So
Well,
I don't know.
it's Japan. It's Japan,
It does
it's
it is all is like it's all backwards and it doesn't make sense.
yep. Well, I mean, that's just how it is. Fucking weeb shit fucking sucks. Fuck weeb shit.
Kind of this might not be like super new news, but did you hear about Matt Pat, the game theory guy, that he's going into like politics for like uh like YouTubers and like media creators and stuff to
I
like
did hear
be,
about that.
yeah, he's trying to like bring a more modern voice into politics, whereas like a lot of the old people don't really know anything about it, you know?
Yeah, I would
That
have liked for
way,
do you
yeah.
know Mr. Beat? Not Mr. Beast, but Mr. Beat. Do you know him?
Like what is he known for? I don't. That's the name doesn't sound
He
familiar.
makes a lot of like political videos where he talks about like oh, here was the best, this was the best and the worst governors, and these were the best and worst presidents, and like these were all the presidential like pets and stuff, all that shit.
Okay.
Um, he tried to get elected in Kansas, I think, and I think he did not succeed, unfortunately. But he's I don't agree. I'll say I don't agree with him on a lot of things, but I feel like he understands like YouTube enough, and he is sort of, I mean, he's definitely younger than like the majority of like politicians are right now, to where like I think he would be like a good voice in Congress. So I think he should run again, to be honest.
I do think that like a lot of like lawmakers, a lot of like politicians and people like in those sort of like positions of power in politics, right, are a bit like out of the loop. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%.
and
Um,
and because like they're out of the loop, quote unquote, like some of the decisions they make don't make sense to like a lot of like the younger people, which is like represents our age group, right? And I think that that's where like it's really nice to see people that kind of get it a little bit more get into politics, and hopefully things like that will keep happening, and we can see some actual changes that make a little bit more sense and that are more representative of you know, all of like the things that regular politics doesn't understand enough, you know, like games, social media, YouTube.
that is
And
true, and I feel like that is kind of a pretty good segue into another topic I wanted to talk about. Um, if you'll permit me, do we want to
uh
keep talking about this topic, or do we want to
well, I don't really have much to say. I just thought it was really interesting when I heard the whole MatPat thing, because I like obviously people made a lot of jokes about the whole MatPat thing
mhm.
of they're like, oh, he's gonna say this whenever he's in court or whatever, like funny little jokes like that, which uh
Yeah, jokety
obviously
joke, memeity meme. Yep.
obviously he is a very very funny he it's sometimes hard to take him seriously with some with some of the
Yeah,
clips
I
online.
was I was gonna say he himself is not all that funny, but like just the existence of him is funny.
Exactly, right? So he has a lot of clips that make it very hard to take him seriously. Like like you'll see like the clips where it's like Sans his Ness, or like he gave Undertale to the Pope, and people kind of look back at those things and they're just like, I don't know about this guy.
Is
But
that what killed
overall,
the Pope? Do you think maybe it wasn't JD Vance? It was him. Like he's
there
like,
have already been
I'm
jokes
gonna
about
try playing this Undertale game.
there have already been jokes about how he's gonna give Deltarune to the new Pope, and I
Dude, what if the new
I
Pope's
don't
like,
know. That'd
bitch,
be
I've
so
already
funny.
played that shit. Bitch, I've already played that shit.
That'd be
I'm,
so based. It really would.
I mean, he's already a fucking White Sox fan. I don't know how much more based he can possibly fucking be, dude.
Okay, yeah, but like besides all the jokes though, like he is a really smart guy and he's been working behind the scenes to like help a lot of people already like in the creator community. So
Yeah,
I have a lot of hopes that he is for what he's doing right now.
yeah. I mean, his old content is kind of cringe, and I'm always gonna hold it against him that he made FNAF famous. But
Like there's like a it's weird, right? Cuz whenever I was younger and even now kind of like looking back on it, like there's a lot of videos that he made that I liked a lot, and then there's a lot of videos that he made that did kind of feel like catered to a different audience than me. Like
he
it was a
was
lot
trying.
younger.
He tried to prove that the pyro from TF2 was gay because of the ring finger being longer than the forefinger trick. Um, so that was pretty funny. Um, but yeah, no, like his. I'm not gonna lie to you. I find his shit pretty cringe. Uh, Even back in the day when I watched Game Theory and I did like some of those videos, I still thought that they were mostly pretty cringe. Um, he's definitely a millennial, and I am not that. Thank God. Fucking hate millennials. Jesus Christ. Um,
Yeah, like
but
we're the thing is though, like I've gone into this conversation like a few times. I'm pretty sure we've talked about it before as well. But uh myself and maybe you as well kind of feel this, right? We're like I think towards the early part of like Gen Z.
I don't. Let me check
I
that.
because I don't know
Continue.
how big the generation gap is, but I am closer to like the early part. I think I'm like 3 years off, 4 years off,
It
maybe, right?
started in so it's loosely defined according to Wikipedia as between 97 to 2012. So I guess we are, yeah, definitely you're
Yeah,
definitely in the early part, and I'm in the I'm in the
you're
first
you're
5 years. So
yeah,
yeah.
you're close to the early part, right?
The first
But
third. Yeah.
there was a period of time, I want to say like the 20 teens, right?
Mhm.
When social media was really popular and like you would see all these clips of like people and it would be like, oh, this is Gen Z, right? And it'd always be like the younger Gen Z people. And it would be so hard to identify with them as like my generation. I'm like, I don't identify with any of these people online doing all these like stupid stuff. But now I feel a little bit better because now I feel like Gen Z are all the people that are bullying Gen Alpha now. It's like come full circle again, you know?
I mean, well, Gen Alpha didn't do the Tide Pods thing. That was unfortunately that was all us.
That yeah,
So
it's things like that though that would happen, and I would be like, is this really my gen? Is this like, am I part of this?
the Jake Paulers, that was us.
Ah, yeah, you know, but now I feel like now Gen Z is like part of the crowd that's like, oh, I can't afford a house.
Well, that's because they're dumb. I'm gonna say the majority of this fucking generation
Well,
is just
no,
stupid.
not necessarily, right? I will say that kind of going back to the politics thing very loosely, right? Is that a lot of people that have houses, a lot of people that are in politics, a lot of people that are, like I get just the older generation, right?
Yeah.
They're very much like holding on as closely as they can to all of their property, and they're trying to keep everything expensive because they're like, oh, I want my property value to go up, right? And it
Well, I
makes it a
don't want
bit
it to go
tougher.
down. Why
No,
would I
no,
want it to go down?
I understand that. Like, and that's why it's tough because y'all want it to go up because you already have property, but everybody that doesn't have property wants it to be affordable. That way they can actually own something, And it's and I pretty much what I've been thinking, right, is that we just gotta wait for all the old people to start passing away, and then
I have been saying that, yes, that
and
like
then and
once the
then
boomers start to fucking croak.
and then it'll be our turn to buy their property for
Yeah,
real
God,
for a better price.
that will be, the fucking we will inherit the world. But think about it like this though. Won't it be that once we're retiring, that the children that Gen Alpha raised are going to be the ones taking care of us, right? Like they're going to be 20 somethings while we're in our 60s, 70s, 80s, and so the children that Gen Alpha raised are going to be our caretakers. Isn't that fucking terrifying?
I Yeah, that's a bit tough. That is a let's not think about that for too much though,
Like think about this: the children of the Skibbity toilet generation.
Oh, I forgot about Skibidi Toilet. I kind of want to keep
Yeah,
forgetting about Skibidi Toilet for a little bit.
the generation that fucking, what is it, the what's some other cringe,
You see,
um
I it sounds like I feel like we sound really old whenever we start complaining about Gen Alpha though.
I don't care.
we're
Let
not
me
we're not
sound old. I
we're
don't
not
give a
even that
shit.
old, which is crazy, but
I don't give a shit if I sound old.
we're
Fucking
sound we sound like
those
the get off their
kids
lawn type of
suck.
people.
Those kids suck and they deserve to get fucking made fun of. We bully those
Uh,
fucking kids here
to some
on,
extent, yeah.
we say fuck them kids on IIHS podcast. That's what we say. We say
I
fuck
I
them
don't know,
kids.
not word for word, not word for word. I not exactly.
Fuck them kids. Fuck
No, no, do not fuck them kids.
fuck them kids. Oh, speaking of fuck them kids, how do you feel about Taiga? Do you guys remember Taiga?
Taiga, as in like the snow biome in Minecraft.
Shut up.
I don't know, like, isn't it crazy that after that game came out, like they invented snow in real life?
Okay, we're gonna change topics now. So speaking of content creators and the law, Danny, how familiar are you with the current online drama regarding Hasan and Ethan Klein and Hasan's cult?
Okay, well, I'll tell you this, right? There was a period of time for a while where I
Mm-hmm.
would follow the drama and I would like watch the newest drama alert and I would watch like a Ludwig video of him being like, "This is the new drama in the space today," right? And then after a while, I stopped caring and I haven't followed it ever since. So I don't know anything, not a
So
single thing.
I have been following it just because I'm gonna be honest here. I'm a D1 fucking Hasan hater. I am D fucking one Hasan hater. I
Any
cannot.
reason?
Oh, so fucking many reasons. I made a short on my channel. Oh man, that was a good short. The Hasan fans didn't like it, but That's how I know it was good.
Wow, okay.
Where I went in and I was like, fucking, what did I call him? What did I call him?
Oh, you called him something. That's
I
interesting.
called him like 4 things. It was awesome.
You're just calling people things. All right.
Yeah, hang on. Let me go in the description. I found it. He's I called him a thief, a grifter, and a moron. Yeah. So, as a thief, he is fucking um does a lot of reaction streams. Do you remember those? Do you remember the drama about those?
There's always been drama with reaction streams. What's his specific drama?
So, this was in like I think like 2022, I believe was when this specific drama kicked off, where a YouTuber who I really like called JXE, he got famous or
Wait, Jexy?
JXE, like J as in blue J and
Okay,
then
wait.
EXCY or
Okay, no,
EXCI, sorry.
I'm thinking about somebody different. Never mind.
So
Uh,
JXE started
okay.
their career doing uh like CinemaSin videos, like they watched CinemaSin videos and like corrected them for being wrong. Um and then they sort of branched out to some other content, and then Hasan reacted to one of their videos, and um and when I say reacted, I mean said maybe like 3 things and then just let the video play while he went to the bathroom. And so Jay made this video about like what Hasan is doing and like going in on all these going in and like watching all these videos, but like not sometimes not even watching them. Like I said, like he actually just like lets them play and goes to the bathroom and like doesn't offer any commentary whatsoever. And um and like when he does react, it doesn't even add anything. So
Yeah, I do hate that whenever. Well, it's weird, right? Because there are people that react to things on stream, and I feel like that's a tiny bit different because
well, that's what he was doing because he
it
was
is
doing it on
live,
stream.
but because whenever you react to something on stream, obviously you're gonna react to the whole thing. There's like no cuts, right? Whenever it's a YouTube video, usually I
That's
feel
not
like
necessarily. Sometimes you can have different timestamps for the video and like go in and skip ahead, right? You don't
okay,
have to show the
like
whole thing.
okay, yes and no. I think that maybe I have seen it to where like some of these YouTubers they'll have like these like a team of people that'll like I guess like kind of vet videos and like look at videos and they'll be like okay well these are like the important parts and if it's like that sort of situation I get like going and timestamping it but
And
like
he could definitely afford to do that.
if you don't have that person and you're just like watching it yourself though it's a bit tougher to do that I will
Hasan
say
is a fucking
um
multimillionaire. He could absolutely do that.
but if you do end up watching videos I would I would say either you should watch a video from a mega corporation who is not going to lose anything, or you should get permission to watch the videos, right?
Even then, and we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. That actually does tie into the drama. Ooh, do we have time to get into it? Here, let's go to the ad break and then we'll come back. But I've got a lot to say about this, and I feel like it's really interesting. So stay tuned. We'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
This podcast is sponsored by Amanda Redwine, your no-nonsense talk therapist and parent coach. Serving individuals and couples in both Illinois and Florida for counseling/therapy, as well as worldwide for parent coaching. Amanda's specialty is working with teens and young adults, as well as their family systems. Amanda has extensive experience working with youth who identify on the LGBTQIA+ spectrum. She has also done couples work based on a foundation of the Gottman method. She brings a light, no-nonsense approach to treatment that is approachable and empathetic. She is unflappable and makes her clients comfortable from the very beginning. Find out more at www.amandaredwine.com. That's AmandaRedwine.com. Thank you again for sponsoring this episode, and back to the show. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. But like you were saying with the only watching things from mega corporations, we'll get back to that. But basically, so that caused like a big stir because do you remember Jinx, right? Do you remember there was this guy on YouTube who would literally just watch videos and like wouldn't say anything and he would just like laugh and stuff. And this was back in 2016.
Again, there's a lot of different people like that. There's a creator, I don't remember their name, but they had beef with Jack's Films.
Yes, that was Jinx. That was Jinx.
Okay.
Oh no, that was Sniper Wolf. You're
no,
talking about Sniper Wolf.
No, I'm talking about it was on Drama Alert. This was before the Sniper Wolf thing.
That might have been Jinx then, where like Jack made a video of him reacting to the guy reacting to Jack's video.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that was Jinx. That was Jinx Reload.
Okay.
Not Jinx Reloaded. It was Jinx Reload. iDubbbz made a video about him before iDubbbz became a cuck. He's actually a player in this sort of drama as well. So, anywho, basically, so that was the first sort of reaction streamer drama thing that happened was JXE made their video. Hasan watched it, made some terrible defenses of himself that like didn't actually work. So, he kind of lost that, but his fans fucking, defend him anyway. So, for a while, Hasan, that's how he got on my shit list, right? Like I never watched him before then, and so he never was going to get into my good graces just because he did that. But then it might have been like a year later, or maybe just like somewhere between like 6 months and like 2 years later, there's this big video from the creator Lemino. Are you familiar with Lemino?
No, not particularly.
Well, he makes some really good documentaries. Like really well researched, really well like put together documentaries, very professional. Really, really impressive. And he made one about the JFK assassination. And JFK got, murked. And, in case you're not familiar with JFK was a U.S. president, and he got assassinated. And there were a lot of conspiracy theories about that.
Yeah, this is for the Gen Alpha people out there, in case you haven't learned this one in class yet,
Yeah. If they sat through all the fucking shit we were talking about them,
or the Gen Z people that just don't remember it,
Yeah, who were fucking too busy watching Vine compilations.
Yeah, Vine compilations and eating Tide Pods,
Yeah. But yeah,
we're just roasting all the generations at this point. We have no one on our side anymore.
Corp Chungus millennials, heckin' Dogger Puppo.
Yeah, let's just go for Gen X. That's like the only one we're missing right now.
Fucking Gen X makes fun of their fucking selves. Like they don't need to be made fun of. They were the leaded gasoline and leaded paint generation. I think that speaks for their fucking selves. Yeah. So fuck all the generations. But yeah. So obviously there's a lot of conspiracy theories. And Lemino did like an actual like breakdown of what we knew. Obviously before Donald Trump released the JFK files, which showed exactly what we knew, which is that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone and the Secret Service are kind of fucking gay and terrible at their job. So, yeah, that happened. And let me know. Fantastic fucking documentary. Oh my god. Like I've watched it. It's really, really well made. And Hasan and then XQC, and it's probably some others, watched the video, and then what they did was they uploaded their reaction on YouTube, but like they made the title like something very similar to Lemino's title, so that way they could like steal his views, right? Which I would argue is worse than what they did to JXE, which is he didn't upload it on YouTube. I'm pretty sure he just had like the Twitch clip. So, but like they actually uploaded their reaction, quote unquote, to YouTube and like started siphoning views off of the original, which is fucking terrible. Like that's fucking awful to do. So XQC did it really bad. Hasan did it really bad, and
Wait, so it was one video and they pretty much re-uploaded it?
pretty much, yeah. Where
Okay.
it was like uh XQC JFK. Let's it's
Yeah, let's talk about JFK, guys. I love this. Love this for us.
so it was called XQC's video was called The Kennedy Assassination. What I don't know what you call that that line character. Like you know the one where it's like a like a divider, like a spacer that like divides the thing. I just typed it in the chat. Yeah, I don't know what those are called.
I don't know what those are called.
Vertical bar. Vertical bar. Sorry.
Is it just called a vertical bar?
Yeah, so it's the Kennedy Assassination, Vertical Bar, XQC reacts to Let Me Know, and then Let Me Know JFK. It's just called the Kennedy Assassination, colon, inside the book depository. So it's basically the same title as fucking Let Me Know's video. And it's like, it's siphoning off like so many fucking views from the original. Let's look at what Hasan did. Yeah, Hasan did the entire title and then said vertical bar Hasanabi reacts to Let Me Know. So yeah, very similar titles, trying to siphon off views from the original, and it's really fucking scummy that they fucking did that. And you know, I hate XQC. I think he's a gibbering fucking retard who couldn't say a coherent fucking thought in his life, and he's fucking French Canadian, so that's like strike 3.
I don't mind XQC personally. I don't really have anything. I don't care either way about Hasan. I don't really know Hasan very well, but I don't mind XQC. He definitely has a lot of bad clips online, though. I will say
XQC or Hasan?
both of them, but
Yeah. So like obviously very I just slapped the mic protector. Obviously they have very bad you know, that was a very bad move. And then XQC was on Ethan Klein's show. Ethan Klein, you know, H3. You know, the H3 podcast, H3 Productions, you know those guys. And he got in some hot water with that, but Hasan kind of evaded Ethan's ire there because they, I think, were still friends by this point. Then, a few months later, Israel-Palestine happens, and Hasan starts praising fucking Hamas and you know, October 7th, while Ethan, you know, he's not like the biggest fan of the Israeli government, but he's like, hey, the fuck, release the hostages, and you know, like attacking civilians is not okay, you know, like the music festival that was fucking attacked, and like all the people who were just like peacefully in their homes, you know, it's not okay. So they, you know, from October 8th 2023 onward, they've been like sort of going at each other, and this is where iDubbbz comes in. Ian, you know, Anissa's husband, Mr. Jomha, fucking, right? I know, fucking what a cuck, what a loser.
I just don't know any of these names. That's what's getting me the most.
You know, fucking iDubbbz. Don't tell me you didn't watch fucking iDubbbz.
I know iDubbbz, but I never watched iDubbbz. I just knew him like from relation to other things that like I did watch, you know?
Well, iDubbbz used to be fucking great and like used to be awesome. He used to make a lot of he used to make this show called Content Cop, where he would go in on a creator who was doing bad shit, and he would like go in there and like call them out. And then he met his fucking girlfriend, who's now his wife, and she completely pussy whipped him. He apparently, according to Ethan, so Ethan is biased, so you may want to take this with a grain of salt. But according to Ethan, iDubbbz was a complete virgin up until he met his wife Anissa, and that was when he was like 27. So yeah, not great look for Ian there. And like over time he started like changing to fit her. He didn't go to his buddy Max's wedding. He's just been like really changing for the worse, and like being fucking he's really soyed out, and he's like, oh, I have like empathy now, and like, oh, I hate drama, and like, oh, I was such a bad person back then, and like insulting his fans who liked his old content. And so you never want to do that. You never want to fucking do that. But he did, and so he's lost a lot of fucking fans from that. But recently he brought the Content Cop back because he is now friends with Hasan, and Hasan's got his own little cult of people on fucking Twitch who suck his dick and stream before and after him to try and parasite off of his fucking viewers, which is really fucking pathetic. And
like what people are you talking about specifically? Just like his fans, or like other, like somebody specifically?
So the streamers are the streamers that are important right now are Denims, Frogan, and Kaceytron. There are these three female streamers. I don't want to bring gender into it, but they are. So we'll get there. But there are these three female streamers who like stream before and after Hasan to try and get his viewers, and like they like suck his dick, either metaphorically or literally, perhaps. I'm not sure, but they're they're all up on his dick. And as soon as Ethan dropped a video before iDubbbz did that was calling out Hasan, and like, Hasan was platforming terrorists, and he said America deserved 9/11, saying all this fucking heinous shit, and being like a huge anti-Semite and like anti-American, and like really saying some like really evil, dangerous shit. And so Hasan doesn't watch the video, but he makes his orbiters is what they call like his cult, and like the people who stream before and after him.
They have a whole name. That's okay.
Yeah, the Hasan orbiters, Denims, Frogan, and Kaceytron, they watch the video in its entirety, and they say, we're watching the video to not give any views to Ethan. And so that's admission to malicious like copyright infringement, right? Because it's like XQC, Asmongold, they watched the video in its entirety as well, but they didn't fucking like say that it was to deliberately steal from Ethan. But Denims and Frogan and Kaceytron, all three of them did. I think the case is strongest against Denims. I think she was the most blatant about it. So, but yeah, Ethan sued all three of them because before he dropped the video, he was like, I'm going to do something really devilish, right? Like, I know I know at least a few YouTubers are going to watch this, and they're going to be like, hey, let's not give Ethan any views, which is, illegal, I guess is the word. Like, it's not a criminal offense, it's a civil offense. So it's tortious, not criminal. So it's a tort. So you get sued, you don't get arrested. But yeah, so they he registers the video in the Library of Congress, so that way it has like full copyright protections rather than just like some copyright protections, right? Like we would still, if you re-uploaded one of our podcasts in its entirety, we could still take it down and like sue you because we still have like a copyright on it. But like he formally registered it with the U.S. Copyright Office, and so all of them watched it in its entirety. All of them said basically one way or another that they're doing this to not give Ethan any money and like rob him of income. So he's suing them for that, and um, like that's a really big thing, right? And first of all, I think it's a really really good trap that he laid for them. They're trying to claim entrapment, which is not how that works. Entrapment is a different thing. If you are given an opportunity to steal and you steal, that's not entrapment. That's just you being an opportunistic criminal. Or in this case, tort committer. Yeah, sure. Um, so
Sure.
yeah, and I think that's really fucking brilliant. And they really don't have a defense. And like you were saying, you know, oh, you know, we're not gonna watch things from smaller creators. We're gonna only steal content from like bigger corporations, right? Denims was interviewed by JXE in the aftermath of the original React streamer drama thing, and she tried to say, "Oh, you know, like people come for me because I'm a curator, right? Like I go around and I find videos for them, right? Like they don't have time to find these videos themselves, but they find a streamer who has good taste and they go and uh like watch their streams as they react to people, which not a good defense, still copyright infringement. And then she said, "Oh, you know, I only ever really do it when it's like Vice News or like Vox News or whatever, where it's like a big corporation," which is not a defense, still against the law.
Okay, yes, technically you're right, but I will say that in my personal opinion, it's a lot easier for me to side with somebody going against like the Tonight Show if they're trying to like do a reaction of like the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon or whatever, right? Versus if they're like stealing like a personal YouTuber's content. You know what I mean, right? They're technically both stealing, but
But they
just
still need to the
but
Tonight
one
Show still needs to pay like the grit people and the best boys and the fucking the camera operators and shit like that. They still need to pay them at the end of the
yes,
day.
you're right. It's just in my opinion, it's a lot easier to justify that. I'm not saying that it's right, but it's more justifiable, is what I'm trying to say.
Stealing is stealing.
What I'm trying to say, right, is that they're both wrong, but one feels less wrong, if that makes sense.
I don't think it's less wrong. I think in this situation stealing is stealing. Um and like
Or because like I have watched plenty of reaction videos, and I never thought about, oh, like they're stealing the views from this random British television show that he's reacting to. You know what I mean?
I would say in this instance it's not even like respectable thievery, because I would say, you know, there are some instances where you might be right, where like there is like a justified thing of stealing. And you know, we can talk about that we're talking about
Well,
like stop killing games, right? You know, like
like
that whole initiative.
I did read a what's it called? No, I watched a video recently uh
Mm-hmm.
that you just reminded me of, right? And it was a very very informative video, pretty much talking about online piracy and like its history over the online era, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's talked about how most of the people that are pirates or that pirate things are people that would be willing to pay for it if it was available, type of
Yes,
thing.
I would
Which
agree with that.
it's a very interesting. It makes sense, right? Because I'm the same way, right? Like where I'll look up a movie or a TV show and I'll be like, oh, where is this random movie, right? And I'm like,
Yes.
it's like it's not on any of the streaming services, and I'm just like, dang, what do I do? I want to watch this movie, but there's no like legal way for me to watch it, right?
Yes.
it, it's very tempting to be like, okay, well, let me just, you know, go to the bay, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hoist the Jolly Roger. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, and ironically, Pirate Software, who is in some hot water right now, actually
Uh,
made a good point about that, which is that his games in Brazil, Brazil has a huge piracy thing because if games are full price in Brazil, Brazil is like a planet from fucking Star Wars, right? During the Olympics in what was that? Was that 2016 or was that 2012? The one where they went to Rio. Hang on, Rio
I don't
Olymp.
remember. I really wanted to
That
get
was
into the Olympics
2016.
for a while, and I still haven't.
Yeah, the Olympic Games in Rio 2016. Um, the people of Rio said, "Do not come here. We have no police or fire department. It's a lawless fucking hellscape." And like I said, it's basically a planet from fucking Star Wars. It's where it's fucking completely lawless and shit like that, and like shootings and murder and like crime all the time. So like,
it it is wild because I will see like movies, or I'll see like films, or I'll see like real life things, right? Of like areas in the world that are like, oh yeah, there's just no police here. It's just all run by criminal organizations, and it's like it's
yeah,
crazy to think that those
exactly.
places actually exist, but they do.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's our fucking first world privilege, isn't it? But yeah. So
A
like,
little bit.
so basically, what like Pirate Software was saying was that in Brazil they can't afford to buy like a full price game, but they have a huge gaming scene, right? So like obviously there's a lot of piracy there, but if you are in Brazil, what he did was like, yeah, we're just gonna lower the price if you live in Brazil, because like it if you're willing to like hide your location and buy it from Brazil, right, just to get like a few dollars off, like it's not that big of a deal. Like nobody's gonna actually try and do that, and it allows people from Brazil to, instead of getting the game for free and like pirating it, they are now giving you reduced amount of money, but still money, to like go in and play your game because they want to play your game and they want to pay for it, and that is true. And but then ironically he goes against his name and he's like, oh, we have to support the developers who want to kill all the games. Yeah, he's a fucking arrogant prick.
Well,
I
like,
really hate
you
that
know
guy.
what? It's very funny, right? Because on the same night that I was binging the videos and I watched that one video about the pirating thing, I watched a separate video about the pirate software. Well, not
Yes, about
not 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 specifically about the pirate software, but about the stop killing games thing. And pirate software
yes,
was a big portion of the video, right?
yes,
And they talked a little bit about his stance without actually. They kind of paraphrased it because obviously I didn't want to watch his video.
yeah. Obviously, because it's wrong. It's wrong in a lot of
But
places.
from what I understand is that he was pretty much like making it like the worst case scenario of what they were trying to do with the movement, right?
Which
Which,
you could
which
say that.
and I suppose it's something to think about, but I feel like it's not really the point. You know what I mean? I feel like he's kind of getting away from what the actual whole point of the initiative is.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And he was really misrepresenting it, which was very unfortunate. Um, Either willfully or being a dumbass, and he refused to like back down. But it made so much
Oh yeah,
it
because
got so much publicity that it kind of backfired, and now they have all the signatures they need. But I think we can both agree they still need more signatures just to make sure it goes through. So if you're in the
well, we
EU
can't sign
listening to
it.
this,
We can't because as soon as I
yeah,
heard about it, I was like, "Where can I sign?" And I was like, "No, it's only an EU thing."
yeah, I told Robert to go and sign it, and he did. But if you're listening to this from the EU, definitely go in and sign that, because that's a really big uh uh initiative, and that's gonna really affect the industry for us too. Like we wish we could sign it, right? And I'm sure if it was open to like Americans, like, oh my fucking god, it would have passed a million
Yeah,
signatures fucking easily.
like because the big example I think that kind of the catalyst of what all started this, right? And this has been in the news for like a couple years now, or like a year or two now, right? Was about the crew.
Yes.
And I think me and you played the crew a long, long time ago, right?
No, we never played the crew.
Well, not together, but I definitely played the crew. And
Yeah,
you know,
I'm not the biggest driving game guy, but yeah.
it was definitely one of those games where I understand why people wanted it to like, be a game they could continually play. So it is
Yes.
kind of crazy that you could have like I read so many stories about people that are like, "Oh, I bought the game, and then 2 weeks later I can't play it," type of thing, right?
Yes, and
And
that
that
is so
and
frustrating.
those like if that happened to you, that's even crazier, right? Because I can't imagine how scammed you feel right now.
Yeah, no, yeah. My heart goes out to, well, my heart doesn't go out too much. It's Ubisoft. You knew it was going to suck. Why would you buy it? You
No,
know?
the game was actually pretty good. I will say I really enjoyed the game, like the vibes of the game. I don't really play driving games that often, but it was a game that had a good scene, and I can understand why people wanted to play it. But it sucks that you can't play it anymore, and like it's a good thing that we're like this initiative is gonna kind of hopefully counteract that. Part of the video that I part of the video that I watched actually was talking about how just this position being made and like the support that's already behind it has already kind of started influencing gaming a little bit, and how Ubisoft has already announced that in their the Crew 2 and Crew Motorsports, the other two Crew games they have right now,
They're
that
putting in
they're
an end of life.
already like experimenting with an offline mode.
Yeah.
So
I
like
mean,
before the petition's even signed, like they're already they've acknowledged like the the impact that first news story had, right?
yeah, I mean, as like an enjoyer of both multiplayer and single player games, like I've always played whenever a new COD comes out, I always play the campaign when if I buy it, right? Or like Halo, I play the Halo campaign or whatever. All these things, right? The trend of like getting rid of like the multiplayer aspect and like not having a single player to compensate is just really fucking sad, and like like losing fucking Overwatch, right? Like I'm sure you would feel really upset if like right during the Overwatch thing, like they just like cut support for Overwatch 1 but like didn't have Overwatch 2. So like you were just like, well, shit, what am I going to do? Or like if
Yeah.
Destiny got all their servers shut down and
I
like
I
yeah.
will say I still am kind of upset with how they addressed the whole Overwatch 1, Overwatch 2 thing.
Oh yeah.
That it took me a while to kind of like get over that because Overwatch 1 was a complete package game. They could have just kept that as a separate thing, but they kind of destroyed Overwatch 1 in place of Overwatch 2.
That is true. Yeah,
So
they
it's a similar situation, but it transferred over. So I don't know. It's not exactly the same, I guess.
I would say like
It's
in an
similar though.
ideal world where the like if we were in an ideal world where the stop killing games thing passes, I would say probably what happened to Overwatch 2 would be on the cutting edge of being like illegal, right? Like not quite illegal, but like on thin ice. You know?
Yeah, cuz uh there was a few different examples they showed me, and of course I can't remember too many of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how games either give you an offline option or they like give you all of the resources to like make your own servers and things like
Yes.
that, right?
Yes, those are the two
I
main things, and I would say I agree with both of them.
Yeah, and I'm like, if somebody wants to like put up their own server for a game, I don't see why they couldn't, right? Like if I wanted to run the crew with me, you, and like a whole bunch of other people, and I
Yeah,
wanted to
you, me, and
run the server
Dupree.
off my
Yeah.
own, if I wanted to run the server off my own, like computer, I don't see why I couldn't do that. You know what I mean, right?
So,
Like,
uh, Thor's did you hear what his argument was on that?
Thor. I don't believe so.
Pirate Software. That's he goes by Thor.
His name is Thor.
No,
That's
his name is Jason Hall, but he goes by Thor.
Okay, now I'm confused. Now you're telling me he's Jason, Thor, and Pirate Software? You can't have that many names.
I think he probably did esports as Thor, and then Pirate Software was like his like game studio
Oh,
name.
Is he an esports guy? I know a
I don't
couple
know,
different people
maybe,
that
kind
came
of.
from esports to YouTube. You know, that's kind of the reason why whenever you mentioned XQC earlier, I didn't want to jump on it because I've been part of XQC fan club since,
You've been fucking enabling that gibbering fucking monkey.
no, because look, if you look up his YouTube channel right now, it's still it has the legacy XQCOW, and I appreciate that.
It's still fucking. You're
That's ride
still
or die, man.
enabling that fucking monkey.
That's
He is an
ride or
absolute
die.
monkey.
And like, let me tell you, he played the monkey too, and he played it really well.
That he's not playing a character. That's him.
No, I mean like in the game, that was his main. He played the monkey, played
Oh, he
Winston.
played the gorilla. The
Yeah,
gorilla.
that's what I'm saying. Like that's why it went. That's why it's all like very poetic in a way, right?
He's a fucking chimp. He's an absolute fucking chimp. He's not a person. He's a fucking chimpanzee. Uh, and like ironically, I didn't think he could make French Canadians look bad, right? Or worse than they already do. But somehow he fucking found a way. He dug deep and he found a way to make French Canadians look even more fucking insufferable than they already are. So fucking kudos, I guess. God damn. I didn't think it was fucking possible. But yeah, anywho, XQC's fucking he's an absolute fuck. Well, let's go back to Hasan, right? So fucking Ethan suing all these people, right? And it's like a really big case here, and Hasan's fucking crashing out over it, and so is fucking everyone in that community. They're like crashing out because they're like, oh, he entrapped us, or like, oh, he's sexist because he's only suing women. And then Ethan was like, you know what? Since you're calling me sexist, I'll sue this other guy unless he like apologizes. And like he wouldn't apologize, so he added him to the lawsuit too. So it's like, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Right? From
I
like,
I I don't know too much about the situation, but I I don't know. I just feel like a lot of this drama that I'm always hearing about is so petty. It
I
always
don't
is.
think it. So the reason why Ethan is like so against these like Hasan people, it's not fucking petty. So like the main thing that has like caused him to go like on the offense so much is that CPS was fraudulently called to his house and people sent him 2 human skulls in the mail. So it's like that's definitely not fucking uh like it's
Huh.
not petty. They were trying to get his fucking kids taken from him, and they were fucking yeah
Oh,
they were doing some real heinous shit. And they're all anti-Semites, they're all fucking racist, they're all fucking filthy fucking commies too, which is even more disgusting. Fucking, oh my god. And yeah, so they're fucking doing all that shit, and they're fucking like they're doing these terrible horrible things. So it's not just fucking petty, it's not just petty drama, it's not just because like he has a fucking issue with them. It's no, they tried to fucking fuck him over, they were doing some really horrible shit. So I fucking I'm fully behind this
well,
100%. I think
it,
it's
it
fully justified.
usually it usually starts with something petty, and then sometimes like it gets out of hand, like how it is now. I will say, if you're on the receiving end of it, and like that's what you have to deal with, like you do what you got to do in order to protect yourself.
Yeah, and I think this is a brilliant fucking masterstroke because they were already like kind of doing some pretty indefensible shit copyright wise. And oh, the funniest shit was they all have fucking GoFundMe pages now, and like they're all trying to like raise money for their legal fund. Denims tried to sue Ethan for defamation, and then she set up a GoFundMe for that. Then she took it down because she had no fucking case. And then, like a few days later, Ethan fucking sues her, so she has to go quick put up another GoFundMe to pay for her fucking legal campaign. But what's really funny is Kaceytron in while she's being sued for copyright infringement. Do you want to know what she does on her fundraising stream?
I'm so curious.
She
Tell me.
watches a fucking copyrighted movie. She watches a fucking copyrighted movie when she's being sued for copyright infringement. You cannot make this shit up. It's so
I
fucking
will
funny.
say that if you are going to watch anything that's copyrighted, whether it be somebody else's video or a movie and stuff, right? You gotta be smart about it. You gotta either get permission or you gotta be smarter about it somehow. I don't want to like tell people, hey, go watch
Or
copyrighted things.
just don't fucking commit copyright infringement. Do fucking fair use. It's not hard.
Yes.
That's the easiest fucking shit in the
Wait,
universe.
if you're gonna if you're going to react to something, really react to it. That way it's under fair use.
And don't show the whole fucking thing. And don't get up and go to the fucking bathroom and leave it playing for your fucking chat. It's so
Yeah,
not difficult.
I will say, how are you gonna even react to something if you missed half of it? Because you were in
It's
the
so
restroom.
fucking stupid. It's so fucking stupid. But anywho, but like when you were saying like, oh, I think it's more justifiable when you're like stealing from a major corporation, right? Copyright infringement, I would say, is like the least justifiable fucking form of thievery, because like you're not doing anything cool, you're not really sticking up to anyone, right? You're too lazy to do like an actual fair use fucking transformative thing, right? So you're either committing plagiarism like James Somerton or Illuminati or fucking whoever, or you're just letting it fucking play and like not adding anything. So it's a crime of fucking laziness, right? It's not a crime of fucking, you know, like piracy, where if you're like actively going out and like pirating games, right? For example, I will say fucking I emulate a lot of Nintendo DS games and Game Boy games, right? Like I'm currently working on a playthrough of Pokemon Black 2 on an emulator because there's no fucking legal way to play it on PC. There, like, you cannot, you know, you can't fucking do it. And Nintendo refuses to fucking port this shit onto a computer, even though they would make fucking millions, probably billions of dollars, if they were to put all of their old Pokemon games on Steam from fucking, and I know they have all the files for
Oh,
this shit.
you bring up such a good point because I've thought about the exact same thing for like the longest time. Whenever it comes to like any sort of classic console games, Nintendo, Xbox original, Xbox 360, PlayStation 2, all those sort of games, right? All the games that didn't come out on PC as well, because if they come out on PC, you can kind of still play most of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like, there's a lot of games that you can't play anymore. And they've tried to bring back the most popular ones. Like I'm sure if you go on to like the Xbox Game Pass or the PlayStation equivalent, right?
Oh
They
yeah,
have
Xbox
the
has
they have like the classic collections where you can play a few Xbox original and 360 games, right?
I would say Xbox has one of the Xbox One had a really good backwards compatible library. A lot of people were giving them a lot of shit.
No,
A
Xbox
lot of
One
shit.
did, but I'm talking about like prior to Xbox One. If
Well,
like
Xbox 360, but they didn't need to have them available online because if you had an Xbox original game, you could play it on the 360. It
uh
had like pretty much full backwards compatibility.
well,
Uh,
what
I,
what I'm saying though is that like the newer consoles don't have backwards compatibility with those consoles, and unless you have like the original hardware and you can also find the original game, you can't really play any of those games anymore, right?
yeah, that's true.
which, which sucks, right? Because there was a time a while back where I was like, oh, let me go play Witcher 3, right? But I was like, oh, let me see if I can play Witcher 1 and 2 first, right? And I can only play Witcher 2 on the because that's a 360 game, and that's
Yes.
technically backwards compatible. But Witcher 1 is like so far back that like there's like no way I can play it. Maybe it's on PC and I can play it there, right? But it's things like that where it's like I wish that some of those games were backwards compatible, and that's why I understand when people were like, "Oh, let me do like quote unquote like ROM hacks and things like that," right?
Yeah, yeah, like that's what I'm playing right now. I'm playing a fucking ROM of Pokemon Black or Pokemon Black 2.
Like
And
that would be something that people would pay for. Granted, they're not going to pay full price for a game that came out, in 1997, right? But if you give them like, oh, $5 and you can play Ratchet and Clank the original,
dude, I'm
on your
telling you, people would pay at least $40 per game of Pokemon Black, White, Platinum, Diamond, Pearl,
no,
Red,
I
Blue, all of those. If you ported those onto PC, if Nintendo had like
I
their own
will
version of
say
Switch,
people that want to play it will buy it for like almost any price, sure. But I would say like more reasonably, they would have to be the price of like a quote unquote like indie game, if it makes sense. Like I'm thinking
I
like $15-$20 max.
I really don't think so, because have you seen what fucking uh people like, have you ever gone to like a disc replay or like an old game store that has like those Nintendo DS fucking games, right? Even though it's super easy to fucking hack to like get a ROM, get an emulator, get a ROM, and like even put it on your fucking Steam Deck, right? So that way it's still just as
But
portable.
it's I don't, here's the thing about that though. If we're talking about that, then we're also talking about physical copies of things, which I don't know if that's 100% like representative, because physical copies of things I think are more like collectible rather than just, oh, I want to play a game, right? Because I would be down to play all of those classic games. I want to play that Burger King game from my childhood that I got that I can't remember the name of right now.
Well,
Uh,
people want
but
to
I
own
don't.
their games, and people want to fucking people want to play them legitimately. Like that, I'm telling you, people want to play all those games legitimately, because if they play it legitimately, they can hook up to like the wireless software and like actually do trading, because like specifically in the Pokemon example, because that's like a major key part of the fucking uh of the experience, is like trading and like interacting with people and like battling online. People want to be able to do that, and like people have to be able to do that for like competitions, for example, right? So people need those like physical copies and shit. So people are still, I've seen Pokemon Platinum, Pokemon Diamond, all those fucking games for 60 fucking dollars over 12 years after they came out. It's
I
100% a thing that people are willing to pay for.
I think that at least myself, right? I also would pay a decent amount for like legacy hardware just because for me it's more like a nostalgia thing than like a collector's thing, right? But I feel like it's really too bad that a lot of these consoles and a lot of these games are just unobtainable unless you have them or they're either super expensive, right? I know me and my brother a few times we've gone to like whatever local game store is around, and sometimes they'll have like legacy hardware like behind the counter that you can kind of like see,
Yeah.
and every single time we go we're like, hey, do y'all ever have a PS2?
Yes, I've been
because
wanting to get a PS2 so I could play the
because we've been wanting to get a PS2 forever and ever and ever, and it's one of those things where it's like we remember it so well as a kid, as kids, right? And it's like it's just so sad that it's so hard to to get those things nowadays, or they're just like super expensive.
Well, yeah, the PS2 had a lot of really good games, and not a lot of them have been fucking ported, right? There's been, I'll say my three, the three big games that I would want to play from the PS2 era are Ace Combat 4, 5, and 0. Those are, specifically Ace Combat 0 is like one of the best fucking games of all time, and like you want to fucking play those, and you just fucking can't, because you know even though I'm sure Namkai Bandai fucking has the the uh the original files and shit. I'm sure Nintendo had all of the had Pokemon Red, Blue, Crystal, Gold, Silver, and they uploaded it to the 3DS live shop, right? Like the shop where you could like go in and like buy those. So they have all those. They absolutely 100% have those, and they could do a PC port of them, right? Nintendo could open their own fucking version of Steam and charge exorbitant fucking prices for all of their games to be playable on PC. But someone at Nintendo is too retarded to figure that out. Someone at, maybe everyone at Nintendo is fucking retarded. And I'm not fucking surprised.
I will say a lot of people, like regardless of price, would buy something if it were available to buy.
Yeah, and
I will
Pokemon
say
is 100% the biggest example because
again,
Pokemon is the biggest franchise in the world. It has made more
going
money than anything else.
going back to the whole idea of like physical versus digital, I don't think people would be willing to pay as much for digital just because it is less of a product, I suppose.
And
kind of going
also
kind of
they can
circling
cut
back
you
to the
off
whole yeah, kind of going back to the whole the crew and all
and
that
stop
thing.
killing games. Yeah. If
Yeah,
buying isn't owning,
full circle, right?
then piracy isn't stealing. And
That is what I've been hearing, yes.
yeah, so unlike with fucking copyright infringement, piracy absolutely is justifiable, especially with these fucking games and shit, or with like lost media, or one of those things where they like haven't put it on fucking streaming. So like if you're gonna like watch rips of like fucking uh all these movies, or for example, right, if you are using footage for fucking, like if you're reviewing a movie, but fucking the director, if you're like Woody Allen movies, for example, right, I would say fucking pirate the shit out of those. Pirate the shit out of Woody Allen or Roman Polanski or fucking any of those motherfuckers. Absolutely 100% do that. Um,
I think piracy really becomes like the way to watch things as soon as it piracy becomes more convenient
Also
than
that, yeah,
just paying for it, right?
yeah,
Because if you think about it, you're like, okay, it's safer to buy media, right? And it's usually much more of a hassle to pirate something.
yes,
So if I can watch, I don't know, like, uh, what's that one movie with Tom Hanks and he's on an island?
Castaway.
Castaway. Yeah, if I wanted to watch Castaway, for example, right? And I look up Castaway, where to watch, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, Castaway is on Netflix. I'm like, okay, I can buy a Netflix subscription for a month for $15, and I can watch Castaway and whatever other movies I want, right? But if
Yeah,
I look up Castaway and it says available nowhere, then
yes.
then then what are my choices? You know?
Either buy a fucking disc, or like go and look for a disc, or order one and like wait multiple days, or just head to fucking Pirate Bay and watch that shit.
Yeah, what becomes more convenient at that point, right? Or if it's one of those things where it's like, oh, I can watch Castaway, but I have to like buy a VPN, and then I gotta change it to this country, and then I gotta do this,
Yeah,
and then
absolutely. Then just
and
fucking
then
pirate that shit.
that's also
Absolutely.
like, okay, that's way too much effort now. It
Absolutely.
as soon as you make it easier for me to like legally do something, then I will legally do
And
it.
that goes back to Brazil. That goes back to fucking Brazil. It's a cost benefit analysis, right? It's how much does it cost and how much does it benefit me versus can I, and like what is the opportunity cost, or what is the alternative way I could do it that benefits me or that costs less and provides the same benefit, right? It's simple fucking economics. And I think, you know, if you do price it, if you say again, if you price a game or a movie lower somewhere else, right, are you going to get people who are going to uh like rip it, or like put on a VPN and say, yes, I'm from Brazil, give me game please, and like one of the ways you can divert that is only allow the Portuguese version to be available in Brazil. So if somebody wants to fucking so if somebody wants to get the cheap Brazilian version, they have to learn Portuguese, right? Like that would be fucking, that's funny. That's a good way to solve it, right? Because then they have to spend all their time on fucking Duolingo learning how to fucking speak
Like
Portuguese.
if like I think that every single business, right, for the most part, has to account for some amount of thievery, right?
Yeah.
Walmart does it, all the in-person places do it, for shoplifting, right? I
Yes.
think the same should be expected of, bigger companies that like sell digital products, right? Obviously, you don't want your product to be stolen, right? But you have to realize like how much of a big deal is that to you, right? And if it's a big enough deal to where you want to have like piracy detection, right? Where like people are downloading like, something that they think is the game, and then they're like, haha, you've been trolled, or like kind of like how you said, only have the Portuguese version available.
Yeah,
That's an
like
option, right? But overall, I don't think piracy is that big of a concern as long as you make it, a bit like people will buy it legitimately most of the time. There is a select few people that will pirate anything,
if you
but
make it like if you make piracy like piracy is a crime technically. We all grew up watching those fucking well
you wouldn't pirate a car.
yeah, I will say
But
not all of us grew up watching those, but most of Gen Z gets that reference because
also
we grew up watching
it's also such
DVDs.
a dumb thing because 100% I would pirate a car. 100%. Who's
That's
not gonna
because
pirate a
buying a
car?
car is that's because pirating a car would be easier than buying one, right? So if people are willing to go to jail because you can go to jail for piracy,
Yeah,
uh
I always used to hear about that, but
it's usually just fines, but like it is
yeah,
technically possible.
that doesn't really ever happen though, does it?
Well, fucking the Napster guy I think went to jail. Napster guy go to jail. Um, he didn't go to jail. But he did get it shut down. Well, Napster's a bad example, but yes, if you fucking pirated shit and like you did it a lot, and specifically if you were like distributing shit, like you could in theory go to jail. So you just have to
Oh,
make
it's
fucking
like with drugs, it's way worse if you're distributing it.
yeah. But like if you're fucking uh if like people aren't going to be willing to go to jail if you make it just really easy for them to like I don't know pay like $2 to fucking I don't know rent a movie or like watch a movie or buy a subscription to your shit, right? Um, or like
Well,
you know
that's also why kind of going back to the pirating idea. With music, I remember some of the stats in the video is that 90% of all music was pirated like very early on, but now music pirating isn't a thing anymore because of how
yeah, it's so fucking easy.
easy.
Spotify, Apple Music, yeah, just make shit easily available. It's so not fucking difficult. It's so fucking easy. You it, but Nintendo's never gonna get it because they're all retarded. They're all a bunch of fucking chimps over there.
uh, be- like
That's them. That's Nintendo.
also yeah,
There's a
because
reason why they got popular with fucking Donkey Kong, right? Fucking write what you know, you goddamn apes. You fucking gorillas. If I threw a fucking banana at Nintendo headquarters, everyone would fucking lose their minds and chimp the fuck out because they are all on the level of fucking monkeys. Jesus fucking Christ, I hate Nintendo. I fucking can't stand them. They're absolute fucking brainless. Brainless, dickless, gutless, witless, uh, dickless again. Fucking stupid, retarded cunts. Fuck Nintendo. Um, would you agree with that?
um sometimes I will say Nintendo out of all the companies is the one that I'm always the most angry with, especially because like they don't sell a lot of these consoles anymore, but they still crack down on it, which is like, what are you doing?
It's
If you
literally not available.
if
There is no legitimate way to get it.
I know people are like doing tournaments of like Smash, and they're just like, oh, well, you actually can't do that unless you own the original Smash, and it's like, okay, well, sell it then.
Yeah, literally. You could make billions, Nintendo, you fucking retards. Billions of dollars. Billions with a B. You could be fucking swimming in it. You fucking goddamn retards. But you couldn't fucking handle that with your stupid little fucking ape brains. You stupid little fucking apes. I swear. I swear. And I could go in so much harder on them, but I'm not because I don't want this fucking I don't want to get canceled and I don't want this podcast to be taken down. But those stupid fucking goddamn retards
Well,
Legitimately,
what are you planning on saying? It's gonna get us canceled.
you'll find out someday. Maybe when you're older.
Well, the Patreon exclusive, guys, it's coming soon.
Even then, even then, I'll only say it off camera. You know,
Oh, it's
I,
serious.
I do always claim to be fucking, you know, like, oh, I'm super genuine on camera. I'm not
No,
fake on
y'all
camera.
should hear this guy. You know, he's like racist off camera. He's sexist off
Why
camera.
are you trying to pull this
He's
on
over
me when I
he's over
literally
here
I
like
already made a video about, we
personal.
already made an episode where you did this. We literally did that last week, Danny. We
It's
literally did this
correct.
last week.
I let me tell you, I saw the description for that, and I thought to myself, like this is just such lies that you're just spreading, and like there's no way for people to fact check it unless they're gonna listen to the whole episode, which I don't know if a lot of them are. So now people just think that I'm racist and sexist and stuff, and I hate the gays and all that.
I mean, well, if the shoe fits,
What are you talking about? That's,
if the shoe fits,
no,
you know,
not at all. You're not gonna gaslight the audience. This is not happening
shoe
again.
fits.
You can't just say shoe fits like that. That's not a good argument.
You know, if the shoe fits, you know.
Mhm. Uh-huh. Well, is how are we doing on time, or is it time
Oh
to?
yeah, we're ready to wrap this bitch up. All right, big red
Alrighty.
button. Go ahead.
um.
Well, you were talking about wrapping it
No,
up.
no, no,
You
no,
know
no,
what
no, no.
happens.
Okay. So here,
Wait. I have one
there's a
more
button
point
in
I
front
want
of
to
you,
make.
right?
I have
Okay.
one more point
Cool.
I want to make. It's totally unrelated to everything. So, Danny, you know how when women get older, they have to go for mammograms, right?
Sure.
And do you know how those work?
Not really.
So they put their boobs on a little platform and they get squished between like these two like things, right? And it like helps detect lumps and shit, right? But,
Okay. Sure.
you know, and you know, if you've known older women, you know, their breasts tend to get saggier when they get older, right?
Okay. I'm not sure where we're going with this, but okay.
So, what if that's the reason why? And plastic surgeons, you know, who like, you know, do surgeries to, like make your breasts perkier and shit like that and like reduce the sag. What if they're in league with the breast doctors who are doing the mammograms? What if they're in league with them? Have you ever thought about that?
I never thought about that. No.
That's my conspiracy theory. All right, big red button. Take us home, Danny. Take us home.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. So you're gonna press this button, right? And you're going to have a really successful business. It's like a park kind of business, right? Your main attraction, believe it or not, dinosaurs, right?
Danny, we're not.
Right. No,
No,
right? No, no,
no.
no. Here, no, hear me out, right? And here's the thing though. Here's the but, right? So you have this really successful business, right? But one day in the future, you don't know when. It could be tomorrow, could be a year from now. It could be 20 years from now, right? One day there's gonna be a really bad like dinosaur escapes, and all this bad stuff happens, right? And then it's gonna be entirely blamed on you, and your reputation is gonna go down the drain, right? Do you press the button thinking, oh, it'll be a long time, like do you take that risk?
No, I don't want to be John Hammond because it literally happened before the park even opened.
Yeah, but like imagine, like it is really successful for a long time before it goes.
No, I don't want to be the Indian guy from Jurassic World.
It didn't even open that long in that movie either.
No, it was open for like a few years.
Yeah, but that's still in the.
It was open long enough to where people were bored with seeing fucking dinosaurs. So it was open for a while.
Okay, yeah, but like in this version, like the success rate is like high up until big controversy, right? But you don't press the button.
No.
Hmm. I
I can get rich without fucking Jurassic Parking myself.
I probably wouldn't press the button either, just because I've never been much of an animal person.
My
I've never been.
my thing would be if I were to be a villain in a fucking Jurassic Park movie. You know what I'd do? I just wouldn't be near the dinosaurs. Like
It is the dinosaurs are always their downfall. They should just get into a different business.
that's the funniest fucking shit about this new movie, right? Fucking I don't know. I'll wait till you guys fucking see it.
Well,
But
don't spoil it. I haven't watched it yet.
well, the main villain goes on the expedition, and it's like, why?
Do you want to talk to them about our text conversation and our misunderstanding?
Sure.
So he messages me earlier this week, right? And he says, "Oh, have you seen Dinosaur Movie?" And I'm thinking to myself, I have no clue what he's talking about, right? Because in my mind, I completely forgot a new Jurassic World came out. So I just say yes, completely without thinking about it, and then
How
only after I sent that yes, I was like, oh, he's probably talking about the Jurassic World movie, right? But he never asked for any clarifying question, so I never correct him. and
I
then
don't see how this is ever my I do not
and
see
then
how in this situation any of this was my fault. I really don't.
so then I show up today and I'm just like, yeah, I love the Land Before Time, and then it goes, what are you talking about? And I feel like I'm justified here because technically I did watch the dinosaur movie. I just, you can't just say, did you watch a dinosaur movie? There's so many.
If you all right, here's an example.
All right, guys, tell me,
The new Superman movie comes out this Friday, right? If
Yeah.
I say, "Did you watch Superman movie?" What are you gonna take from that? What are you gonna take from that? Yeah, I love Christopher Reeve. You fucking idiot.
I love the Man of Steel.
Yeah.
My
Oh man,
favorite
Henry
movie.
Cavill's awesome.
Look, but
Fucking idiot.
here's the thing, right? I think that it's kind of on you for not being more specific with your question. You tell me,
No.
guys. Is it on me or is
No.
it on him? Leave it
No.
in the comments.
No.
Leave it in the comments.
If I said, "Oh, have you seen that Formula 1 movie?" You're going to be like, "Oh yeah, I love Daniel Bruhl." You know? Fucking yeah, no. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. I'm right.
Well, leave it in the comments, guys. Am I in the right or is he in the right?
Kill yourself. Kill yourself. Good night, everyone. Patreon, patreon.com/IIHS podcast. You could have been listening to this early on what is it, Sunday night, Monday morning? Yeah. You could have been listening to this way early instead of waiting till 9 a.m. Eastern on Tuesday. Why would you do that? That's terrible. You could have been listening to this early on Patreon. If you join our $3 tier, you get to listen to the first part, so up until the ad break. But if you join a $5 tier, you get to listen to the whole thing ad free, and you get to listen to all of our movie commentaries. I think Danny is gonna hassle me to watch some bullshit here pretty soon, so that'll be something. Woohoo! I'm so excited.
I'm very excited, guys.
Oh
Very
my
excited.
god! All right, well, yeah. So that's look forward to that. Oh, hopefully I can get enough booze in me to.
It's not even that long of a movie. You'll be fine.
I fucking hate you. Yeah. Anywho, yeah. So join our Patreon. You also get a discount on our merch store, which is also in the description. Go check that out. We have some pretty cool stuff there. Yeah, definitely pretty sick. Yeah, definitely go check that out. Go buy yourself some shirts and stuff, some shirts and mugs and stickers and hoodies, and maybe we'll add some other stuff too. Who can really say? Yeah. Also, we are on social media. We are at IIHS Podcast on Instagram, Threads, YouTube, Blue Sky. We're not on Twitter. It's not called X, but we're not on it. Danny, don't even say anything.
OnlyFans coming soon.
Fuck you. Is that what we're doing on OnlyFans? Is that what we're doing? Okay, alright, cool. Alright, you know what? Sure. I knew you'd like that, you fucking pervert. Anywho, yep. My name is Kale. I'm incredibly influential.
My name's Danny, and I'm highly successful.
Well, I'll talk to you guys next week.